Aleisha Reviews is back and we are kicking off with a bang. This is Black Mirror, Season 7, Episode 1, Common People. Let's get into this. This episode kicks off with Amanda and Mike. Amanda is a teacher and she is letting the children know about the bees that were manufactured. Now, remember, these bees were actually featured in a previous episode of Black Mirror, Hated in the Nation, where we saw that these bees are created. Their main purpose is to replace bees that have become extinct. Mike is waiting for Amanda after work, where they go to celebrate their anniversary at the Juniper. Now, this is a nod to another Black Mirror episode, San Junipero. After dinner, we see them talk about the possibility of having a child, and we also see that Amanda has had another headache. Now we're with Mike at work. He is speaking to one of his colleagues who asks him to get his colleague Shane, who needs to be working. Now, when he goes to see Shane, Shane is on the computer on a website called Dumb Dummies. This is where people go on this website where they do silly acts to get money, and Shane has just paid one of these people to do an act, which is why he is delayed getting back to work. Now, Mike, he's intrigued, but he's not really impressed, and he encourages Shane to get back to work. Back with Amanda at work, we can see that she is having a bit of trouble getting her words out. This is when she drops on the floor. You can see that these headaches are definitely taking a toll. Whilst at work, Mike is notified that Amanda is at hospital and it sounds serious. He makes his way down there as soon as possible to find out what is going on. When Mike gets to the hospital, the doctor lets him know that it is not looking good for Amanda, but there is an experimental procedure that could possibly help. This is where we're introduced to Gaynor, who is from Rivermind. Rivermind have created a system where they're able to remove that tumour that Amanda has and replace it with a Rivermind receiver. Long story short, she's basically got a piece of Rivermind in her brain. Now, obviously, Mike is really skeptical about it. He is asking questions like, is it dangerous? Has it been tested? And Gaynor reassures him that everything is fine. She's even got one. She was involved in an incident and she is doing fine. Gaynor also lets Mike know that there are a few things such as sleeping more. Because of the demand of their servers, she's going to need a bit more rest. She also mentions that she would need to stay within a certain area. The system is kind of like a self-service, so it does mean that she would physically need to stay within a certain coverage range. They do have most of the state covered and they will be taking it nationwide and worldwide within the next year. Now, the surgery is free, however, it is a subscription-based service which will cost $300 per month. On their way back home from the hospital, we see Amanda and Mike discuss this $300 a month. Now, they know it's going to be a strain, but Mike tries to reassure Amanda that he's going to be taking extra shifts and they're going to be able to cover it. We see Mike is putting in that overtime, and it's so sad. The poor guy can't even get a drink after work because Amanda lets him know that they have to make them spread because they can't buy another pack until payday. It is that serious, but you can just see over time how tiring this is for him. But this is what you do when you love someone and you need to pay $300 a month to keep them alive. It's now Mike and Amanda's anniversary and he wants to go to their favourite spot. Although they've got a lot of bills going on at the moment, he wants to make sure that they still have a good time and celebrate. Mike mentions how much he's been working, and Amanda kind of takes offense to this because she mentions that, I'm just a teacher and I'm always sleeping. And he tries to say and reassure her he didn't mean it like that. But this is where they start getting into a bit of an argument. And just as they pass the county line, we see that Amanda, she's out. It's like her battery's finished. They have gone outside of the county line where there is coverage. So she basically just shuts down. Mike is absolutely panicking, and this is where he makes a U-turn, and as soon as he does, she comes back on, literally comes back on, and she does not know what happened. The next day, they go to visit Gaynor to explain exactly what happened, and she reassures them that this isn't a malfunction. It actually is due to them passing the coverage area. Due to their towers being updated, this would mean that the current service they have now would not work, but if they were to upgrade, they would be able to go past that boundary line. Gaynor lets them know for an additional $500 a month, they would be upgraded to Rivermind Plus. Now, remember, they're already paying $300 a month, so that means a total of $800 per month. You know they are already struggling with the $300 per month, so to add another $500 is absolutely diabolical. Gaynor goes on to explain that if they don't upgrade to Rivermind Plus, they will stay on Rivermind Common, which is the new name for the service that they are currently on. When they get home, this is where we see Rivermind Common in full effect. As they're having a conversation about coffee, Amanda just starts talking about Espresso Grande, and this is where Mike says to her that he ain't heard of it. They don't get to finish off their conversation because if they did, they would realize that that was an advert. Whilst teaching at school, Amanda bursts into advert again, this time in front of the kids. The kids are confused, and even one of the kids mentions Honey Nugs, which is the advert that she just spilled out. But again, she doesn't realize that this is happening. After class, one of her students asks for some advice, and this is where she goes into another advert, leaving the poor lad confused. Back at home, we see that Amanda and Mike are getting ready for some love time. Again, we see that during this, Amanda breaks out into advert. This is where Amanda is adamant that she is not saying these things. It is not something that she would say. They go and visit Gaynor to find out exactly what's going on, and this is where she lets them know that there is a trial that they are doing, commercial messages. Amanda, rightly so, says, it's an ad. You're basically running ads through me. And yes, that is exactly what they are doing. Can you imagine? Hey, do you see the surgery was free? Yeah, but they didn't let you know that they're going to be running ads through you, a literal walking advert person. On top of that, the ads are listening to your conversation, so that is where they will insert an advert that is in relation to whatever that conversation you're having at the time is. This is just highlighting exactly what we go through. Has that ever happened to you? Amanda discovers that ads are running through her during school hours, which is definitely a problem. She is warned that if this continues to happen, they will have to let her go, as they are getting complaints from parents. Even during that conversation, she was doing the ad talking about dating for over 50s. Teacher had to tell her, listen, I'm 49, love. What the? So even the teacher saw for herself what is going on. This is going to be another issue because Amanda needs this job. Amanda breaks the news to Mike, who clearly is shattered after working overtime just to cover their common subscription. But now to find out that she will lose her job if they don't upgrade, it's adding another stress. He reassures her that he will get it sorted. Hey, when there's desperate times, there are desperate measures, and yes, we see that Mike has reached that stage. He is logging on to Dumb Dummies in a mask, getting prepared to do some dumb dummy business. In the morning, we see Amanda is reeling off those adverts. Mike is on the phone to Rivermind after putting down his glass. He is speaking to Gaynor to confirm that she has received the payment and when will the upgrade kick in. She lets him know that it is immediate, and that is when we see that Amanda is back. Yes, the adverts have stopped, and she is so elated to find out that they have now upgraded. Mike reassures her that they will keep up with the payments, it will be fine, and as she goes in to give him a kiss, this is where we see he turns away, and that's how I knew in that glass was the wee-wee. Amanda finds that she is sleeping more. When they go in to see Gaynor, this is where she lets them know that the sleep time has extended to 12 hours. They They are confused because they have just upgraded to Plus, but no, she lets them know that Uncommon is now 16 hours. For Amanda and Mike, they are losing the plot, and this is where Gaynor lets them know there is yet another package. Now this one is called Rivermind Lux, their VIP package. It does come with additional features such as being able to download cognitive abilities of other users. You can also increase your mood as well, so if you want to be a bit more relaxed, you can increase that, turn it up to the max, and you can do all of this using an app. Gaynor lets them know that if they can't afford to do the upgrade, there are temporary boosters. Amanda is tired. She lets Gaynor know that they are not interested. She walks out the door, but this is where we see Mike. He ain't left his seat yet. He wants to know how much those booster packs are. Back at home, we see that Mike, he has reached that breaking point. He is ready to go all in. He gets a request on Dumb Dummies for his mask to be removed. Now the offer is $500. This is an offer that he can't refuse. It's anniversary time and they are on their way to their favorite spa. This is where we see that they have gone past the coverage point and everything is fine. Mike lets Amanda know that he has purchased her 12 hours of the Rivermind Lux. Yeah, she is going to be having a good time. Mike is back at work, and this is where we see that the whole workplace knows what time it is because there is a picture of his Dumb Dummies escapades on the wall. Yes, Shane, you know that he's responsible for this, and Mike, he confronts him. As he's trying to swing at him, this is where we see that Shane is taunting him even more, but Shane, he doesn't stop. As Shane is backing away from Mike, he gets run over and you see that he is stuck under the machinery. Oh, it is terrible. You can just tell how much pain he is in, and this is where we see Mike clearly in shock. He walks away. Mike lets Amanda know that he has lost his job, and obviously she is worried about how they're going to cover the payments for Rivermind Plus. Mike reassures her that because they're loyal customers, that Rivermind, they will understand and they plan to have a word with them the next day. Mike and Amanda try to plead their case with Gaynor, and she explains to them that the package that they're on is now the standard package. So again, there's been another upgrade. They are not in a position at the moment where they're able to make these payments. Amanda explains that if she does go back to ads, that she won't be able to keep her job. But that doesn't matter to Gaynor. All Gaynor cares about is that they've got the funds, and she even says to them that when they do, come back and then they can get upgraded. This is where Mike lets slip that there is still the baby fund, and Amanda, she didn't know that there was still money available. But this is where Gaynor lets them know that there are additional costs for becoming pregnant. Again, another hidden cost, another hidden subscription fee. Is an absolute madness. This is where Mike absolutely loses it. He has had enough. We even see that Gaynor has to increase her nonchalance because of what has just happened. 1 year on, we see that Mike, he is now selling the crib that they were saving for the baby. He congratulates the couple buying the crib, but they let him know that they're not actually expecting. They're going to be blowing up the crib for a music video. Mike just has to laugh. We also see that Mike has lost a tooth, meaning that he has been going at it on the Dumb Dummies. Back inside, Amanda is just waking up, and you can see that this has taken such a toll on her body. She looks weak, she looks fragile, and she looks tired. Mike asks her for her hand to go out into the garden, where he lets her know that he has purchased 30 minutes of Rivermind Lux. She is really pleased and shocked, but she does question how he can even afford it, and she hopes that he's not been using Dumb Dummies, but he is honest and lets her know that he has been using Dumb Dummies, but it's more a private version of the site. Mike turns up Amanda's serenity up to the max, and this is where she lets him know that she thinks that it's time. Yes, time for her to go, because she's not really happy living this kind of life. You're a walking advert, you're tired all the time. It's not really a life, and she's not been able to really enjoy herself. She tells Mike to do it when she's not there, i.e. when the ads are running. And you can see that Mike he's distraught, but he understands the situation that they're in. And because of the love that he has for her, he is going to grant her wish. We can see that the timer is down to the last few seconds. They say I love you to each other, but he wanted a bit more time, and before you know it, the ads are back. This is absolutely heartbreaking. You can see the devastation on his face. We then see Mike. He gets up and goes into the room, probably on Dumb Dummies, but he's going in there with, it looks like a box cutter. And I'm just hoping he's not going to do what I think he's going to do. And that is where the episode ends. Wow, what a way to start this season. This was a great episode. It showed you what people are willing to do for love, the levels that you were willing to go to make money in order to keep up with these subscription services, and also how some of these companies actually exploit this model by constantly changing what you pay for. 1 minute you're paying for this service, but then another service is added as they upgrade, and sometimes it gets to a point where you can't afford it. You're not able to keep up with these payments. Unfortunately, it led to a point where it just wasn't sustainable. You saw the effects of it. It not only affected Amanda's health, you could see that it was affecting Mike's health as well. What an episode. I am going to give this episode 9 boys out of 10. I thought this was a great way to kick off the new season. That is what you want from a Black Mirror episode, an episode that makes you think and makes you feel. This definitely done it. Let me know how many boys out of 10 you would give this episode, and leave your comments down below. What did you think of Common People? In the next video, we will be reviewing episode 2 of Black Mirror season 7. That is Bet Noir. Make sure you are subscribed, hit that bell so you are notified when that episode is up. I will catch you in the next video. Don't know. Bye.